Good evening. Tonight, instead of posting a Bible verse or making a video about a Bible verse, I just wanted to do a word of encouragement and just share a little bit of what I've been learning about in the Christian life recently, and I hope it will encourage you too. Just a little bit of context from my life. If you don't know this YouTube channel's name, the YouTube channel's name is Rejoicing in God's Holy Testimonies. Someday I'll explain the name and how that name got there and why the Bible verse means so much to me. But I'd like to share a little bit of my story with you now. Growing up, I was always the kid who felt like the black sheep of the family. And I know my family was not super bad or hated me, but I just felt like I didn't fit in. That was my story. If I were to take a whiteboard and write how I felt, the word I'd pick is unaccepted. I felt like an outcast. Not only that, in my teen years I felt like an outcast in my church community, especially from the church leadership. Things happened, things were said that made me feel unwanted and unloved. It made me nearly walk away from Christianity. And so, eventually, I was reading Ephesians 1, and I'll pull it up for you. Ephesians 1:6, I believe. And I'm reading from, as usual, when I'm doing memory and just reading, the Modern English Version, which you might have never heard of, and that's okay, but I'm reading from the Modern English Version. And Ephesians 1:6 says, "To the praise of the glory of his grace, which he graciously bestowed on us in the beloved." That's the Modern English Version, but the King James says, "To the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved." So when I realized this verse said that I was accepted in Christ Jesus and that was it, it was a super freeing verse, because it meant I didn't have to be accepted by other people to do well in life. It meant that my state with God didn't matter how perfectly I was accepted by Christians. And so I want to encourage you, as I don't know about you, yesterday I got out of school, and the first thing I found out, even before looking at my phone, somebody mentioned Charlie Kirk's assassination and how a Christian man had died defending his beliefs. Now, I don't want to get on a side tangent and talk about all the political views that Kirk had. I don't want to say that everything he had I agreed with, because I don't. But I want to encourage you in times like these, where they're trying to lean into your identity in Christ. 2 Corinthians 5 would encourage that we are in Christ, and if we're in Christ, we're a new creation. The old has passed away and the new has come. So I have a shirt, and this is one of my favorite shirts I wear. I know it's flipped because I'm filming on a phone screen and all that dumb stuff, but it says "Child of God." This shirt brings a lot of comfort to me, knowing that I'm accepted in God's family, and knowing that I've been given the right to be called the Son of God, and I have the inheritance with that. And so maybe you're struggling with what happened with Charlie Kirk. You're looking at how evil the world really is. You're seeing people celebrating the death of a man who just wanted to state his opinion, and maybe opinions that you totally agreed with. And I wanted to encourage you to remember who you are in Christ, to not get lost in despair, and remember that part of Christians' identity is to be a light. Part of our identity is to be a light, is to be salt, is to go in and this is an unscripted video, so I'm not going to remember everything I taught on recently, but I was preaching recently at my church, and I was talking about how Christians are called to be salt. And you think about salt that adds flavor. So Christians, they need to be adding, when they're called to be the salt of the earth, they need to be adding flavor. Things they say need to be valuable. Salt cleanses. Well, we can't cleanse unless we've been cleansed. So we can't bring Christ to people unless we've been with Christ. So salt cleanses. And there's other ideas that came with that I can't remember right now. But I just want to encourage you to step fully into your identity in Christ Jesus. To know that you are fully loved by God, and whatever the world says pales in comparison. And to step into your duty as an ambassador of Christ, and in these trying times to shine God's light. Thank you. You have a blessed evening, and we'll get back to posting on the Bible verses tomorrow.